Take a slow, deep breath. Exhale very slowly. Take another deep, slow breath. Feel the prana entering every single cell in your body. And as you exhale slowly through your nostrils, feel the prana filling the earth with joy, love, kindness. And as you inhale again, feel the power, the force, the energy of the universe entering every single cell of your body, filling it with love, dedication, devotion. And as you exhale, feel this love form a ring of bright light surrounding your entire body. Be aware of the back of your neck, your brain stem. Bring the attention to that. And feel a bit of tingling around the back of your neck, the brain stem. Awakening all the nerve centers that connect us to the higher. Breathe in again and allow the prana to go through every chakra point in your body. And imagine a beautiful white light bombarding through all the traumas that you have experienced in your life, and just bringing light to every situation. And as you breathe out, repeat in your mind, I am so loved. There's nothing to fear. Be aware of that golden light that surrounds your body. And now, bring this golden light. Imagine the sun or a disc, and bring this golden disc to your heart area. And if you want to make it effective, you can bring your right hand, palm of your right hand, onto your heart and just feel warmth there. Just open that center, making it warm, beautiful light. And now, see yourself clearly as you are dressed today. Whatever you're wearing, see it. And see yourself. And bring yourself into this beautiful circle of light. And this light vibrates. And you're sitting right in the middle of it. Feel the peace. There's nothing you need to do. Just enjoy looking at yourself. and ask yourself, who is that sitting there? Is that person happy? Is that person sad? Who is that person sitting there? What is it? Who am I? Who am I that's watching me? Who am I that's watching me? Who am I? What am I? I can see myself clearly. And now go back to the you that's in the light. And see yourself wear a beautiful smile. Just a beautiful smile. And know that beautiful white light that surrounds you is constantly there. It's your own prana. It's the life force. It's the energy force. And the way to connect to that energy force is through the instrument of love. Ask yourself, what invokes this feeling of love and peace in me? What invokes it? What brings up the highest feelings in me? Who? What? And now you see our beloved Master Sri Swami Satchidananda standing next to you. He sits on the ground with you. And you feel the safety, the strength, the force. And you both laugh. You just laugh because you realize in your mind and in your heart you can bring each other there anytime you want. But you are never alone. And you hold each other's hands and you feel the power of His Shakti enter your every body, every single cell of your body. And you know that you are never alone. And now, we let Gurudev go physically, but the essence of the visit stays with you. And gently, gently, quietly, quietly, you just sit with it. Don't have to do anything. The love is there. The joy is there. Just sit quietly with it. Take a slow, deep breath. Om Shanti. Repeat in your mind. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. I am peace. Shivoham. Shivaya. I'm not this body. I'm not this mind. Shivoham. Shiva, I am. Take a slow, deep breath again. Feel the prana enter your body. Every single cell, charge it with joy and peace, compassion and love. And just imagine for a second that you're above this earth and you're looking down on our world. And from where you are, it really is all one ball. It really is just one ball. And the space that you are sitting on is infinite. It goes on forever and ever. You can't even fathom it. And just bless it all. Bless your life. Bless all those who come into your life. Bless all the great masters. Bless the earth. Bless those who are sick. Bless those who are suffering. Just bless everything. Now bring your body back on to earth. Back into the States, back into Virginia, back into Yogaville, and back into this room. And open your eyes. So who are you? Who are you? Are you your body? Are you your mind? We use the mind as an instrument to find the self somewhere. It's that instrument. It's just an instrument. We're so lucky to have it. And you see how, by just putting good images in, it can take you deep. And if we stay longer, and when you see the mind drifting again, you just open your eyes, take a deep breath. You know, my father used to say, 2 minutes of focused, sincere prayer is worth thousands of hours praying in a temple. Just 2 minutes, if you can, Nalanie, if you can pray sincerely, your method of praying, whatever it may be. Because then you really touch the cosmos with it. Because there's no distraction. It becomes like a laser beam. You've seen laser lights in a dark room. You won't miss. And this is where, distant healing happens. When you're so focused, when you love someone so much, they will receive it. They feel it. They feel it. They feel your prayers. They feel your love. It travels. It travels everywhere. Because it's not tangible. It's beyond you. It's not stuck in this body. It can go further. It can go much further than your body. This is why people like Swami Satchidananda, they walk into the room, you feel the energy and it envelops you. He was telling us in Bali, the scientists wanted to do an experiment on his energy field. Somebody asked the question, Gurudev, tell us about energy field. Really good retreat. It was a 9-day in Bali, and boy, the 28 of us who went there experienced something else. He told us a lot of truths there. And he told us that the scientists wanted to test his energy field. So they had some equipment. They asked him if he was willing to go to the lab. So he went to the lab, and they had this equipment that measured the energy field of more or less the room. The equipment just couldn't do it. It just broke down. So they told him to come back another week, and this equipment measured energy, size of the block, the whole block that they were in. The equipment broke down. And they ordered another machine that could measure the energy far further. Couldn't do it again. The needles just went haywire. They said, we can't measure your energy. And an ordinary person, they were so used to measuring energy fields on ordinary people who were not spiritual. And the energy field was within a certain amount of space. That's it, that they could easily measure. And he also told us once that they experimented on him by injecting a virus on him to see if he would get a disease. Yeah. Do you remember that in Bali? He was telling us, yes. And obviously he didn't. And they couldn't figure it out. Again, the prana he creates in his body is beyond what man understands. And all of us in the spiritual world know this. That's why we're here. It's just that when you're here, you know it so well, so well, so well. I'm not this body, I'm the spirit. You know it. We all know it so well. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. But then once we get out to the world again, whether we like it or not, it dissipates so quickly because the world is so dense. That's why, they say great masters like Babaji, I don't know if you've heard of Babaji, they will not they cannot come into the earth field because it's too heavy for them. So they stay high in these great saints, stay in these Himalaya mountains, where the energy field is far lighter and human beings can't breathe so easily there. and they maintain that by high vibration. That's why sometimes when you are feeling very low and you go into the field of somebody who has a high vibration, you feel a bit uncomfortable. You feel a bit, I need to get away from this. I can't cope with this. Because your vibrational fields, is low. You'll blame the other person for it, but it really means that you need to correct your vibrational fields. That means something in your life you're not doing right. And that energy is showing you, because if you go in a higher vibrational field, you're going to feel your negativity, whether you like it or not. Many of us felt that with Gurudev. Isn't it true, Dhyani? And those who lived with him, didn't you notice, Swamiji? When we were negative, he'd ignore us. He'd just look at you like that, and then you knew you're not in a good place. Fix yourself. Isn't it true? He just knew it. It just like, And then if you ask him later, he didn't even know. It was just a perfect mirror. It wasn't even done like, it was just a natural thing that reflected back to us because the channel was so pure. He always could tell what I was thinking of. Always. I remember once when I came here for my first Raj TT, and I stayed here first 2 weeks, I thought, oh my God, I don't want to go home. I think many people feel this, right? There's an ideal way, Oh, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go to my family. He actually called up and told me, Nalanie, come up for lunch. So I went up to lunch to his kutir, and he said, stop it. He said, you are not staying here. Your place is not in the ashram. Your place is out in the world. He said, your place, go back to Shanki. And then, really, once he told me that, it shook me out of my reverie. Because it's very easy. Somebody's cooking for you, somebody's cleaning for you. You just have to be all day here enjoying as a student. It's different when you're not a student, isn't it, for those who live in the ashram? Quite hard work. It's like the world outside, no different, except there's a nicer environment, and at least everybody's working towards the same cause. In the world outside, it's a huge challenge, because you meet people who just think you're kooky. When you talk like this, I think you're bad. And he said, but then I love the challenge. He was absolutely right. I love being in the world. I love a challenge. I love it when people question me about God, because I have so much faith, and I never go into debate. When they want to debate, I don't debate. Why should I debate with you? I already know. You're the one who's not sure. You go and find out. No debate. There's nothing to debate about. It is, And the challenge of the everyday world. And then the variety of people you meet, also so lovely. People have such a variety. It's just amazing, the human race. Amazing. Everyone can write a book. Everyone is a book. Everyone has something so special. And that keeps fascinating me. Because there is definitely this creator. Because it's God the Father, and then the Creator does all the work. Perfect designs. I just get so fascinated, don't you? So you have all these things to think in your mind. Why would you feel sorry for yourself? Or why would you be depressed when there's so much to do, so much to learn, so much to enjoy, so much to absorb? Yes, there's a price to pay. You might get rejected. You might be told off. I've been called a witch many times. But no problem. That's part of the world anyway. It's the way it is. Pain and sorrow, joy, laughter, it's all there anyway. But there's a sense of adventure in the spiritual path. It's a sense of adventure. For me, it's adventurous, the spiritual journey, because you're constantly challenged to go higher and to go higher And don't be frightened of your challenges, because as you develop in spiritual, you're knowing yourself more and more and more difficult challenges will come to you. And Gurudev told me when things got difficult, at one point he gave me a glass Lord Ganesh in my hand, and he said, "This is to protect you. The obstacles are coming." The obstacles are coming. And they came. And he said, they're there to build up your spiritual strength. Everybody goes to the gym to build up their physical strength. Your obstacles build your spiritual strength. And I treasured that Lord Ganesh for many years until I met someone who had the same craving for God. And when I gave her that Ganesh, her life also shifted. She was always very angry. And now she's one of the most loving people you can meet. You watch the transformation as you get in touch with your soul, in yourself. And then you get encouraged. You really get encouraged. And it's good sometimes to give yourself a pat on your back. I did it, I went through another hurdle. Yes, this horrible thing happened and I did it. I passed my test. Thank you for helping me. I've done it. Now the next exam. You get quite excited to know what the next exam is. Because if you had no exams and no tests, life would be pretty boring. We have to live, at least have something to do. If there's nothing to do, then there's no reason to live. And I remember I saw Gurudev here in May, just before his passing in August. And it was very odd. I'll tell you this story, how grace comes to your life when you really love and you really have faith. Gurudev was going to be in England in July, and I was already booked to see him there because the plans were made ages before. And then he was booked to come to Gibraltar in August. Now suddenly, end of April, I get this thing. I want to go and see my Guru in May for 6 days. Don't ask me. So I'm working in the shop, in the business with my husband, helping him out, right? I wasn't there full time, but that time he needed me because he had some problems. So I told him, I have to go. He goes, why are you going to the ashram? You're going to see Gurudev in July. He's coming to Gibraltar in August. Waste of money. I said, no, darling, I really, really have to go and see him for 6 days. I really need to see him. And he knows once I've got to be in my body, don't try to convince me otherwise. I'm doing it. So I immediately booked a ticket. I said, I'm just asking your permission, being polite. You can come with me if you want. I always invited him everywhere I went. Please come with me. No. Okay, I'll come. And of course, it was the last time I saw Gurudev. And I remember I went to his room. And that was one thing. I came to see him and I had lunch with him a couple of times. And then Swami Dayananda Ji said, do you know, Nalanie, that if you want to see him more, you have to ask. Do not expect him to call you. So I said, okay, I'm asking. I want to see him more. I know I've had lunch with him, but that was with a few people in the room. I want to see him. And so I went to his place and I sat with him. And he was surrounded. People think he rests all the time. He doesn't. He was surrounded with magazines, and the phone rang, and he was talking about the lotus. Then he was cutting an article of one of his students in America. I don't know where it was, and he was showing me, look, Nalanie, this student started nowhere, and now he's bought this old church, and he's renovating it, and he's making it into a yoga center. Isn't it great? And he had all these things on his bed, and I thought, oh my God, how much he loves us. He was keeping all these things, And then he said to me, my body is getting very old. I said, no, Gurudev, you're still very strong. And he goes, you see, my skin is very dry. Very, very dry. So I said, is that the heat from the Kundalini energy? That all the energy that because electrics, right? You have to get hot with electricity, scientific. And then he goes, Nalanie, I don't know what God does to this body. He goes, if the body is old and I cannot be of any use, no point to have the body. And now they don't let me travel. They don't let me go anywhere, he said. And if I'm no use, then there's no need for the body. I said, oh no, Gurudev, you still got so much in you, you're still strong. I think he was giving me a message, right? Anyway, he gave me a big hug, I left him, and then of course in July, I fell down, fractured my foot. And I had real problems because my toes turned black, I had problems with circulation. So I couldn't travel. But I told the rest of my group, you must go. They were going to cancel. They don't be crazy, go. Make every chance you can to see the master. Some people said, maybe we cancel because he's coming in August. I said, no. Every opportunity, you have to see a master, do it. You never know. And there was this force. I don't know where that information kept on coming so strongly to me. So they went, and I'm so glad they went. And then, obviously, in August, 3 days before he passed, 4 or 5 days before he passed, he called me from India, and he said, Nalanie, I am so sorry. You've worked so hard for me to come, but I'm so tired and I'm not feeling well. I said, Gurudev, don't even think about this. We'll cancel everything, just get well. But when he said, I am so tired, I knew it. He wasn't going to last. So I called my dad in Hong Kong, because my dad was very close to him. I said, Dad, I have permission to give his number to you, because I asked Gurudev, can Daddy call you? He said, yes, I want to hear from your dad. He's very close to my father. Dad, call him right away. Call him right away. I have this feeling. So Dad spoke to him. My aunt, who's a great devotee, spoke to him. And then he called me the following day. He said, was everything okay? I said, Gurudev, a miracle. We had booked out 2 hotels in August. No deposit, right? And I thought they would have to charge me for something, because they trusted me, so they gave me no deposit, and I gave them my word. So I went to the hotels, and I said, look, my master is sick, he's not coming. And normally you get a huge fine. Guess what? Reluctantly, they said, never mind, we're not going to charge you. So I didn't have to pay anything. It was really quite a miracle, And I said, don't worry, everything has been cancelled, no problems, don't worry about a thing. And that was the last time I spoke to him. I just told him, I love you so much, I love you so much, I love you so much. And then I found out Sharadananda called me on the early Monday morning and informed me of his passing. And the reason why I'm telling you this story is that when you're very close in your heart, whether the mind knows it or not, there is a force called your higher self, or the intuition, tells you to do things. And you sometimes don't even understand why, but it's so strong. And I have noticed in my life, so many people don't listen to these strong messages. And they're really strong. They tell me, I'm getting this message all the time. Why don't you follow it? They're too scared. Maybe it's silly. What a silly thing for me to want to do. Everybody was saying, Nalanie, why are you going in May? Thank God I went in May. If I hadn't followed that intuition, I would not have seen him. Because I didn't know I was going to fracture my foot in July. So this, when you meditate a lot, also in the self, this inner voice comes. It's kind of like your journey coming here. This inner voice, you have to come. You have to, it's so strong. And then that's why you need courage. Because if you don't have courage, even if you get the voice, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. And that's the story of, the story of Tina Turner, right? Do any of you know her life story? She was beaten up by Ike a lot, and she suffered. She was really battered, but she never had the courage to leave. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. And then one of her friends, over and over again, this happened. She lost all her confidence. She was such a great singer, but she lost everything. And then one day, one friend just told her, come on, why don't you do some Buddhist meditation? Do some meditation. So she started to meditate. And with the meditation, even without so much knowledge, she was in touch with that soul power. And what happened the next time I came, she called the police. She didn't take it anymore. She had the courage. That soul power gave her the courage to leave. And that's when she came up with Private Dancer and her second coming back to the world, right? Do you remember? And what was it, very young, she was what, 50-something when she came back into the world and had her hits again? And I saw her live in Marbella because I loved her life story. I mean, it was an inspiration to me, you know? And somewhere I read, she wrote, I'm really a nun in a miniskirt. It's really quite lovely, isn't it? It's very inspiring, you know? And I meet many wonderful souls in different costumes, you know, you just wouldn't believe, you know? And sometimes you look at them and you never believe that they're so in touch with God. I remember I met this musician once and he just called me. I mean, he was a great musician, travels all over the world. And I didn't really know him much except that when he was younger I used to do some choreography and I worked in a play with him. And he suddenly called me, become famous and traveled all over the world. So he called me one day, he said, Nalanie, I really, really, really need to talk to you. I can't get answers. So I said, sure, you know. So I met him for a coffee and he said to me, you know, when I play my music, when I go out there in front of thousands of people, I don't know what happens. I'm playing, but I'm not playing. Something so big takes me over. Is that God? I just gave him a hug. I said, boy, are you lucky. That's God. He said, it's not me. It's not me. And then another time, I have a very good friend who's a doctor. And he told me the same. He said, you know, Nalanie, when my patients come, and I just know what's wrong, even sometimes even before they've had the x-ray or they've had the MRI, I just know. And I'm saying, who's giving me this information? God works through me. Nalanie, God works through me. I said, you got it, you know? And you know, these people you would just never think. And they're in their soul, in their mind, in their body, they're living this truth constantly. They're so aware of it. And this doctor's tremendous. I mean, he's a wonderful doctor. And the musician is wonderful. Because even without knowing, they know, if you know what I'm saying. They just had to put a name and a subject to it. But they were already living in that energy, that power, that joy. So I learned a lot from people. Because prior to that, my vision was very small about self-realization and understanding soul power. So limited. And now I see, oh my God, it's quite phenomenal. So many good people are self-realized, you wouldn't even know. You don't even know until you start to talk to them, and then it's quite amazing. Quite amazing. So never judge a book by its cover, first thing. You never know when you're going to meet the next saint. That's what I always say. I never know when I'm going to meet the next saint. It's exciting. We live in a great world that's full of flavor for us to taste all the different flavors. Don't you think we're blessed? So sometimes some food is not delicious. It's okay. Other times you go to the best restaurants and have the best food. Don't get so stuck on something stale and old. We stick ourselves. We become too clingy, too needy. I need. I want. You have everything you need. Will you repeat that? I have everything I need. I'm so blessed. Can you repeat that?
I'm so blessed.
Again and again and again and again. I'm so blessed. I have everything I need. And you know, that is the power source that is the machinery that brings that soul energy to you. It is. I'm so blessed that gratitude is like, it revs up the engine of soul power. It makes you awake. It gives you strength. It keeps you happy. That's why you have to be in love with life. If you're not in love with life, you cannot get this power going. We're in life for a reason, and this planet will die. Good. That's also great. We'll be tired and we'll go one day. But while we are here, let's love it. Because what else can we do? You think about it. What else can you do that will mean anything? Everything dies. So we might as well love every single second and every moment. The only way we can do that is when you're in touch with your higher self. And if you can't do it yourself, guess what? We got a great master. Great master. Use that imagery. But remember, what you are thinking is the key, all right? And that you can transcend your thoughts. You can. You all know you can. And when you transcend it, be aware, I am transcending my thought. I know how to do this, so if I can transcend it, I can change it. Simple. Don't it is so difficult, so difficult, so difficult. As you think, it will become. Yes, it'll take time, maybe not. Maybe I'm one of those lucky people. I won't take so long. Who knows? But who's counting anyway? I'm infinite. So if I don't get it right this time around, there's many lifetimes with so many chances you just don't believe it, Infinite, infinity. Oh my goodness, I can't even think infinity. So don't worry so much. Be patient. Patience is a great virtue. Sit with it. Just be. Sometimes we try to do too much. We try to do too many mantras. We try to do too much. All those are tools to use to get us to the state of mind. But Gurudev said, when you get to the silence, drop the mantra. Sometimes we get to the silence and we go, oh, I forgot to say my mantra. Whole idea of the mantra is to take you there to that silence. Wake yourself up. We're funny what we do to ourselves, isn't it? Just go away. Let yourself go. Just allow it. Just allow it. And that's how you get into meditation with the self constantly. Constantly remind yourself, talk to yourself. It's the first sign of madness, and thank God we're all mad.